talk about an unenviable time slot following Vic Noble and Jennifer Aniston, and the last thing between us and cocktails. So we'll try and make this as good as it can be. Oh, you guys hear me okay? Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about the changes coming to healthcare marketing. We've heard a little bit about this, alluded to in the various presentations we've heard. We'll talk about what some of the things might look like and what some of the building blocks might be that we can be thinking about today to help to activate the near and future of healthcare. So if you spend any time paying attention today, there can be no doubt that healthcare is having a moment. It's overwhelming, it's exciting, it's transforming as a discipline. Medical and scientific breakthroughs are happening daily, and the availability of data has never been richer, which is creating so many new opportunities for marketers. On the consumer side, consumers, patients, caregivers, physicians are also very, very open to new ways of seeking attention, seeking treatment, and being communicated with about healthcare. This business, though, has been sheltered for a very long time. Concerns about ethics and liability and risks have made our marketers more cautious than their peers working in other industries. For years, we've seen, by and large, the same formulas, the same playbooks, the same channels, the same approaches, but now finally, the same kind of powerful forces that have impacted other industries, as well as some entirely new ones, are making the status quo increasingly less tenable. We've talked a lot, and you've heard a lot about, J.P. Morgan and Amazon and Berkshire. We could talk about Google and Tencent and Sequoia funding a pharma AI startup in China. These disruptive forces are making things less safe for everyone, and I think that's a very good thing. Who doesn't love a cat video? Sorry, I couldn't resist. There's so much buzz in the market every day, this poor guy, around medical and scientific breakthroughs such as genetic mapping and AI that are getting extensive coverage in consumer media. And there's great curiosity and great interest in that stuff. And increasingly, our clients want to know what's in it for them. How can they harness this new stuff they're hearing so much about? So no one wants to see the same old marketing plan, not business and not consumer. So there's a growing understanding that marketing as usual is moving by the wayside, and we risk falling behind if we don't adopt new approaches. As we'll talk about in the slides to come, digital technologies such as embedded sensors, powerful connectivity, artificial intelligence are the new marketing tools that are creating new kinds of communications and new opportunities for all of us to think about how to drive better outcomes. And that is absolutely the name of the game for us as marketing communications professionals over the next 10 years. So that means, for example, the industry's reliance on print collateral, journal ads, patient brochures, inserts, and the like, has really sort of timed out. Anyone here doesn't think that? It kind of has. And I'm sorry to sorry to Self Magazine, sorry to Good Housekeeping, sorry to the U.S. Postal Service. It's just sort of sad, but true. Nor, however, is TV a safe bet, or certainly not the only bet. And to Vic's point about white noise, this is any pharma ad ever, basically. Media consumption has changed forever. Traditional TV consumption is on a steep decline as market fragments and as new streaming services, many of which are not commercially driven, come to the fore. So I feel like we're probably maybe at peak DTC because, as Stu said, this year we've eclipsed all records for DTC spent. So I feel like this is maybe the peak, and it's downhill from here because most people today, when they start their product searches, they don't start with a TV spot. They don't even really, start with Google. What we're learning and what we've seen in our research is that they start increasingly at Amazon because it's closest to product, which is why Amazon is building what we expect to be a very formidable advertising platform and network. Make no mistake, that is where the future is going. So today, people build their own customized mix of go-to media and platforms. It's not just Amazon in different parts of the world. Tencent and others are building similar medical information portals and platforms to get closer to the healthcare experience and to product. So patients, healthcare professionals, payers, everybody is now shifting their attention between devices. If some of you look up and glance around from yours, you'll see what I mean. Everyone expects information on demand. And so marketing must flow seamlessly across multiple screens, multiple devices in a differential manner to answer questions and to provide information, service, and support in the moment across the journey. This is not just top of the funnel stuff. Marketing has got to follow you through your journey in a really, really meaningful way. And there's a new tinge to this. With healthcare reform constantly in the headlines, everybody's watching costs, and all parties, and make no mistake, especially payers and patients, are looking for more value in every aspect of healthcare. That includes marketing, not just pricing and contracting. So marketing that is accurate, that is educational, that is helpful and motivational, and that improves outcomes is not only getting attention, it's quickly becoming the new standard. In fact, by way of example, just this morning, I was taking a look at some news that Takeda and Cedars-Sinai have a program now where they are creating personalized profiles of IBD patients to figure out the utility of various biologic options for those patients. This is the true beginning of personalized medicine. And this is exactly the kind of stuff that payers are looking for. So the next couple of slides actually came from a business case that I wrote internally at Deloitte as we considered standing up a new kind of healthcare marketing agency footprint. But as I realized that this is equally applicable to all of us as marketers, not just those of us in the agency business. Healthcare and life sciences brands put a lot of their money and effort, rightfully, into developing products. This is their focus. It's their point of pride. I can say this from many years of experience of hanging out in labs with people whose idea of a good Friday night is time in the lab. But their customers judge the brand not by its R&D prowess, not by its sales, or by its profits. They judge the brand by their experience with the brand. Seems pretty simple. It's the customer experience. You've heard a lot about that today. And success means creating positive and relevant customer experiences at every branded opportunity. That's with products and services, with advertising and marketing, with sales, information systems, customer service, and support. This case, I think, is a great example of how you can pull through brilliantly that kind of customer experience. And the importance of customer experience means that success is more about providing value necessarily than racking up sales. This includes improving patient outcomes, both in terms of objectively measurable outcomes, but also in terms of subjective perceptions. So this involves communicating the brand story in ways that enable doctors and patients and caregivers and others to recognize their own experiences and to create their own story with the brand. So, gone are the days when marketing could take months to devise great campaigns that might last for years. Those days might not be altogether gone. I'm sure we can all think of a couple zombie campaigns that refuse to die. Mr. Mucus, maybe things like that. But they're increasingly the exception. Oops, gotta go back. Sorry, guys. Can you flip me backwards? There we go. Hold on. There we go. So they're the exception rather than the rule. So today, marketers need to hone capability. Oh man, this slide is killing me. Sorry. I'm going to go, there we go. To create marketing campaigns fast and in compressed timeframes. So we need to track results quickly and effectively with meaningful metrics for real insights rather than just confirmation. And we need to cultivate on every level the ability to learn from those metrics and adapt the marketing accordingly. One of the things that we talk a lot about in my group is this the death of market research, of basis testing? Because today we can very, very effectively get real-time feedback in market, quickly learn, iterate, and adapt. So that debate will probably go on for some time, but I think it's a really interesting question in this world of agile marketing. So Sorry, I kind of ruined the surprise with Mr. Travolta here. Data intelligence. Marketers are used to small amounts of structured data in the form largely of quantitative surveys and number crunching. It's the kind of thing where 65% of marketers think mean response is when people say they don't like a product. That's been kind of where we as marketers have historically played in data. And we're used to small amounts of unstructured data in the form of qualitative surveys, anecdotes, and verbatims. But today, technologies are being deployed to harvest massively more data of every conceivable sort and from multiple sources. From your body, from customers, from suppliers, from sales, from media, from campaigns. And increasingly, this data collection is driven by algorithms. And it'll take cognitive technologies, machines and robots, to turn all that data into meaningful insights. And marketers will have to develop data mastery, or, like me, find ways to work effectively with those who already have it to harness all of this wealth of information. It will make us better as marketers, but it's not going to be easy. Through data science, we can extract valuable insights from this vast and growing pool of healthcare data to communicate brands' value stories in new and far more personal ways. Knowing and segmenting customers according to their specific characteristics is really the key to creating compelling experiences. So, brands and their marketers, I think, will increasingly fall or stand by their ability to apply creativity and true design in the sweet spot of the intersection of three crucial elements. One, providing what people want and need, taking into account deep insights as to where they are in their personal journey. Two, possible with current stable technology. And this means that technology that can be relied upon to work as intended, often seamlessly and in the background. And three, it has to make business sense and pass financial scrutiny. It's about new ambition and new solutions so that marketers in life sciences and healthcare can be effective and efficient in reaching customers without sticking to the traditional transactional marketing models that have served us, frankly, pretty well for so long. It also is about experience innovation, and this is, I think, where the stuff gets really pretty cool. Healthcare and life sciences marketers have an array of tools at our disposal that are really different from other categories and that we haven't really had until pretty recently. Things like embedded sensors that you can wear or swallow can pick up the subtlest change in biometrics. Real-time diagnostics can make those metrics meaningful. Patient profiles and artificial intelligence can provide personalized content in context. And immersive displays like augmented reality or virtual reality can help to turn it all into truly immersive, impactful experiences. So we, in the near future, even today, will use technology and this differential functionality as a means to deliver information, service, and support to the customer when and where they need it most. This is really personalized real-time marketing. And one of the things that just hit the news this week was UCSF has been running a neural network. You may have seen this in the news this week, that through just the use of consumer wearables like Android Wear and Apple Watch can predict diabetes with 85% accuracy. So this notion of this mesh of service and support is legitimate, and it's credible scientifically, and it's how we're going to communicate with each other, with our healthcare professionals, and with our healthcare vendors, marketers, partners in the near future. And it also takes sort of a village. It's about smart ecosystems of like-minded companies that will build upon, borrow, and share their brand permissions to create entirely new kinds of health experiences. Excellent products and services rely on supply chains where many players coordinate their activities, and increasingly creating an outstanding customer experience in healthcare will rely on partnerships between vendors, between customers, suppliers, service providers to share data and ideas. And so it'll be people like pharma and tech and retail and others collaborating for mutual benefit rather than competing for exclusive gain. So I'll give you one example. a project I worked on in my former life on Madison Avenue, launching a product for Parkinson's disease. One of the things about Parkinson's, many of you in this room will know better than I do, is the gait matters. The degree to which you walk is important in the therapeutic process. There's this thing called the Parkinson's shuffle, where people don't lift their feet, they shuffle, this isn't good for them. We partnered with Spotify to borrow the Spotify API, to borrow the Spotify install base to create a Parkinson's specific experience over top of Spotify. We called it Parkin Sounds. And what it did was it used existing Spotify technology to beat match the gait with the music. And what we could do with that was automatically, subtly increase the beat and tempo of the music to encourage people to walk farther and faster. And we could use audio cues over top of that to do the same thing. That became an integral part of the launch package for this particular product. And so there are many myriad examples of things like that that are present in the market, and I believe we're going to see a lot more of in the months and in years to come. So, in summary, we're in the grip of really powerful forces that are already shaking things up. And so there are clear impacts ahead for all of us in the work that we do every day and in the way that we interact with our healthcare. There are many elements at play, and they're interacting in very, very complex ways. But there's no playbook, there's no 101 handbook, there's no Cliff's Notes, there's no online video showing how it all works. So it's up to us as marketers to create ways for our teams and ourselves to find the space to test and learn and apply new technologies while still delivering business objectives. And I will speak personally for me at Deloitte, it's a long game. We have created things like patient platforms, precision engagement modules, entirely different ways to harness biometric data and deliver real-time interventions, and we've put those things in clinical trials. So I've got 7+ years before I can truly come back to you and talk about what it's going to look like, but the future starts now. And this is how we have to begin. So the future is made by bold brands and marketers taking the plunge and building their craft and driving outcomes through these kinds of new customer experiences. And so with that, I will thank you. I will offer that cocktails are on the way, and I'd love the chance to catch up with any of you at cocktails and talk more about this stuff. Thanks so much.